Wide open.
Hey gang, it's me, your Uncle Todd here. And we got a really interesting little slasher from the 80s. Its biggest name in it is, of course, Hy Pyke, which we saw in the clip in the beginning. And we all know I love Hy Pyke. One of my favorite character actors, very underrated. This is probably his penultimate film, because he is basically the star. He plays... Basically, the only name he's given is Grandpa. And in the beginning of the film, he's very young. And his grandkids are all kids. And he stops off to give a pumpkin to his favorite grandson, firstborn Tommy. And he also gives him a medallion because he's very special. Well, mother is not happy about this. She's always not happy about whenever her father shows any interest in any of her children, but especially Tommy. So father goes to see Grandpa, and what he sees happening at the barn that night would give anyone pause. So, of course, there's a confrontation.
We don't like trespassers here. You shouldn't have come, Bill.
You listen to me, old man, and you burn this into your brain. I want you to stay away from my son. You leave him alone.
Tommy was never yours.
Needless to say, Bill gets murdered. And then put in his car, which is then set on fire so that it looks like an accident. Now we bump forward to 1988. All the children are grown. Vera's in, I think, her last year of high school. Her brother is, Roger, is a deputy sheriff in his first year on the job. And Tommy is a heavy metal listening outcast. And Grandpa is preparing him for the very important ceremony to happen that night. This is Halloween. At which point, their mother confronts her father, and we learn a little bit something unsavory about Tommy's parentage. Raped by her father on her wedding day. Well, now we understand why the mother has so many problems with her father and wanting away from her children. Meanwhile, we flip back to Tommy, who's listening to, I believe it's DC LaCroix metal band, in which he fantasizes himself as a member of the band. He's not the singer because that's a female, but he's also not the lead guitarist. He's a rhythm guitarist in his fantasy. Weird. You'd think if you're going to have a fantasy about being in a band, you'd be one of the main people, right? Anyways, during the music video-esque fantasy, A woman who has 6 arms kills all the members of the band, then seduces and kills Tommy before he wakes up. Yeah. Meanwhile, his mother is very worried about him, and so she asks Roger to go talk to him, which doesn't turn out well, especially when Tommy shows him what he has in his closet.
Spending time with Grandpa.
I think that would worry just about anybody. Tommy was going to spend the day with his girlfriend, doing what you do in the middle of the day with a girlfriend, but Grandpa's told him he has to rest up for his big night, so he is, and his girlfriend is staying in her house. And she gets visited by someone in the robe and mask they wear at the ceremonies. She's a member of the cult. Assumes it's Tommy and drapes herself on a couch in the all together, as we old people say, and doesn't have the encounter she thought she would be having. Glad I cut it before they show the aftermath. Nasty. Anyways, we cut to town where Grandpa's delivering some pumpkins for the big Halloween party. Roger's going to be working the party as, a policeman to keep an eye on things. Grandpa also meets his granddaughter Vera's boyfriend and is less than impressed. And gets warned by Roger that there have been some grave disturbances at the cemetery, and he warns Grandpa because he's going to be there watching it off and on all night, and he doesn't want to catch him out there. Roger also meets Vera's friend Beth, who takes quite a liking to him, and they go for a ride. Vera, meanwhile, takes her boyfriend back to her place because they're finally gonna do it. Unfortunately for them, Tommy walks in, beats the crap out of him, and throws him out. And then another unfortunate incident happens as the boyfriend is cutting through the cemetery. Meanwhile, that night, Grandpa's doing what you normally do on Halloween, inducting new members into his cult by branding them on their rear end. And Roger, along with Beth, who wanted to tag along for the party, goes to check out the cemetery, chases off some kids fooling around, and then they decide to fool around, but they don't pick a good spot.
It's so cold. Don't worry about it. I tend to warm up real quick.
Strangely enough, they do not discover that they're actually having sex on top of a corpse. Maybe that's good. Anyways, afterwards, they then head to the party. He drops her off at his house because she's going to the party with Vera. And he heads to the party to watch over everything. And this is the weirdest Halloween party I've ever seen. You got a stripper. You got a guy outside doing a stand-up routine for some reason. That goes on forever. And then you got a woman dancing with a snake. Okay. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Beth tells Vera about how she and Vera's brother had a romantic tryst. And wanting to, for some reason, to go see where, Beth takes her.
Vera, don't! Yeah, I didn't, Vera, I didn't put anything there! Oh, come on,
Distraught, horrified, and pissed off, Vera sends Beth to the party to get her brother and tell her brother to come to her grandfather's farm because she's going to go confront Tommy, convinced he killed her boyfriend. And unfortunately, she interrupts things.
You shouldn't have come here, Vera.
But he killed my boyfriend, Grandpa!
You have intruded upon the ceremony of blood. And now, you must pay the price for your sacrilege.
So Vera's tied up, and Grandpa gives Tommy a knife, ceremonial dagger, and Tommy now has to sacrifice his sister. That's a tough one.
Do it, Tommy! You must prove yourself to the master.
For God's sake, die! I am sister!
Couldn't do it. And because of this, and him helping his sister escape, Tommy is excommunicated and banished from the cult. So he leaves. But this leaves some unfinished business. Vera. So Grandpa disbands the ceremony, sends everyone away, and heads towards the party to take care of Vera. Meanwhile, Roger has been informed by Beth of what's happened. He gets the sheriff and they go out to the barn on his grandfather's property, but it's empty. And the sheriff thinks, oh, this is just some Halloween prank and you fell for it. So Roger starts to head back to the party. At this point, Vera's made it to the party and she's made a very horrifying discovery.
Come on, Beth. Get out of the closet. This isn't funny.
Running out to get help, she runs right into Grandpa, who's ready to finish what he started. But luckily, the killer shows up and they go at it. At that point, Roger shows up, believing he's just seen Tommy kill his grandfather, and shoots him before he gets away. Then, checking to see if Grandpa's going to make it, we get this very interesting happening.
Power is in the blood.
Now that is how you do a death scene. And finally, we find out who the killer is behind that mask. was the mom all along. She stumbles into the cemetery and collapses at the grave of her husband, where Tommy happens to be.
I only wanted to keep my family.
Yep. She killed those people so that her family wouldn't leave her. As reasons for homicidal sprees go, it's not the worst I've heard. And after some heartfelt "I love you" and "I'm sorry" back and forth between them, she dies in Tommy's arms. And Tommy is born again, makes the sign of the cross, and devotes himself to Jesus. And the movie ends as we kind of figured it would.
We welcome the night.
Oh no! Roger's the head of the cult now! Yeah, like I said, kind of see that coming. And to be fair, he would probably be a better leader of the cult than Tommy would have been. Tommy's a bit of a stuck-up douche throughout it. But then, considering his being raised to be a Satanist, what do you expect? But, this is a goofy little film. It's not going to set the world on fire. It's not a great Halloween film. It's a good Halloween film. Mostly thanks to Hy Pyke, who does not leave one bit of scenery unchewed. Oh, man, what a performance. His voice is all over the place. It's down and gruff and menacing. And other times it's all sweet and innocent and sarcastic at the same time. Yeah. And as for the rest of the cast, not most of them did not really go on much after this film. Gregory Scott Cummins, who played Tommy, he became a fairly active character actor. He appeared in stuff like the TV show Bosch and the film Cliffhanger in small roles. Now, Carla Baum, Carla Barron, sorry about that. She played Vera, and she had a fairly active role for about 5 years or so, mostly in horror films. She was also in the Jigsaw Murders, Terror Night, the Necronomicon, and the awesome Sorority Girls in the Slime Bowl-orama, in which she shared the screen with the big three: Linnea Quigley, Michelle Bauer, and Brinke Stevens. Not bad work if you can get it. And the only other major actress here was Jenna Fine. She played the girlfriend of Tommy. She was mostly an adult film actress. She would have a few mainstream films in her resume, but most were in the adult industry. And as she spent most of her scenes here in the nude, why not go with an adult film actress? As slashers go, it's not bad. If you like slashers. I happen to be a bit of a fan. Halloween's my favorite, but we're not talking about that awesome film. It's got some good gore effects, and I guess you would say the proper amount of nudity, and you hit all the proper cliches, the horny teens, a traumatic backstory. A pretty good film. I highly enjoy this, and I would recommend it for anyone that wants to see a good Halloween film. And, of course, just for Hy Pyke alone. It's about all I have to say about this film, Hack-A-Lantern. It's a good one. Please hit like, share, and subscribe, and stay after the credits for my favorite scene.
So, you're gonna protect the town tonight?
I'm gonna do my job.
I say, damn your job. That means your grandpa can't have any fun on Halloween.